बल्कि भारतीयता और भारतीय चिंतन की आत्मा के रूप में भारत ही नहीं संपूर्ण विश्व में प्रतिष्ठित है। इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ एडवांस साइंसेस साइनेट्स और KSAS अपनी विचार यात्रा में इन्हीं मूलभूत मूल्यों को पाथेय बनाकर निरंतर अग्रसर है। सामाजिक विज्ञान, मानविकी और विज्ञान के क्षेत्रों में समसामयिक एवं मूल्य आधारित शोध, प्रगतिशील सामाजिक व्यवस्था, धार्मिक सहिष्णुता, आर्थिक दार्शनिक समन्वय तथा कैंसर जैसी गंभीर चुनौतियों पर केंद्रित अनुसंधान के द्वारा ये संस्थान अपनी वैचारिक प्रतिबद्धता को अपने कर्म में निरंतर रूपांतरित कर रहे हैं। आईनेट्स और उसके विविध प्रकल्प एक दृढ़ विश्वास और स्वप्रेरित भावना से समाज के उत्थान हेतु निरंतर प्रयत्नशील हैं। हमारा दृढ़ विश्वास है कि ग्रामीण भारत में शिक्षा और जागरूकता, आंचलिक संस्कृति का संरक्षण, महिलाओं की सशक्त आवाज, उनका वित्तीय समावेशन में प्रखर भूमिका इत्यादि जैसे सेवाभावी प्रयासों के माध्यम से मर्यादा फाउंडेशन के अंतर्गत आईनेट्स, KSAS, आईनेट्स वर्ल्ड कैंपस, हाट नाउ, कुरवोम स्कूल, आईनेट्स वर्ल्ड प्रेस जैसे संस्थानों द्वारा ग्राम स्वराज्य से राम राज्य तक के संकल्प को साकार किया जा सकता है, ऐसी हमारी प्रतिबद्धता है। KSAS इसी आदर्श के साकार होने की तरफ एक गति है जो अपने विभिन्न कार्यों के द्वारा कृत संकल्पित है। चाहे विज्ञान के क्षेत्र में विभिन्न महत्वपूर्ण एवं गहन प्रयोग हों, स्कूल, कॉलेज और विश्वविद्यालय के विद्यार्थियों को निःशुल्क प्रशिक्षण कार्यक्रम हो, दर्शन और समाज के विविध मूल्य आधारित व्याख्यान और प्रोजेक्ट्स के आधार पर नवीन मूल्य स्थापना का प्रयास हो। इसी क्रम में एक अत्यंत महत्वपूर्ण पड़ाव हमारा ये वार्षिक अधिवेशन है, वार्षिक सिंपोजियम है, जो KSAS की स्थापना के साथ ही निरंतर विगत 4 वर्षों से अपनी धारा के रूप में आगे बढ़ रहा है। अभी तक हम लोग 2 अंतर्राष्ट्रीय संगोष्ठियों और एक अपनी स्थापना दिवस को सेलिब्रेट कर चुके हैं और यह तीसरा वार्षिक KSAS सिंपोजियम है। पूर्व में हमने 2024 में फिलॉसफी एंड साइंस एज ए न्यू एजुकेशनल पैराडाइम और 2025 में 7 से 9 फरवरी में कॉन्शियसनेस थ्रू साइंस एंड फिलॉसफी ऐसे 2 एनुअल सिंपोजियम हमने आयोजित किए हैं और उसका तीसरा पड़ाव हमारा ये KSAS एनुअल सिंपोजियम 2026 है। यह संगोष्ठी ज्ञान, विज्ञान और दर्शन के अंतर संबंधों पर एक गहन और वैश्विक संवाद का मंच प्रदान करेगी। हमारा ऐसा दृढ़ विश्वास है और हम इसी को लेकर आगे बढ़ रहे हैं। इकबाल हमारे यहाँ एक शायर हुए, उन्होंने कहा कि सितारों से आगे जहाँ और भी है, अभी इश्क के इम्तिहान और भी हैं, तही जिंदगी से नहीं ये फजाएं, यहाँ सैकड़ों कारवां और भी हैं। कायनात न कर आलम में रंग ओबू पर, चमन में और भी आशियाँ और भी हैं। अगर खो गया एक नशे मन तो क्या गम, मकामाते आह ओ फुगा और भी हैं। तू शाही है, परवाज है, काम है तेरा, तेरे सामने आसमां और भी है। इन मनोभावों के साथ KSAS आगे बढ़ रहा है। धन्यवाद।
Namaskar and good morning everyone. So now I will translate what Dr. Alok has just said into English. The common and easily accessible way of this word has, for the most part, followed well-trodden traditional path. These established routes promise comfort, security, and continuity. Yet, the landscape of history does not narrate merely a tale of creation. It also commemorates the glorious sagas of great individuals who dare to step off the beaten track. Those who listen to the pulse of time recognize the call of the ages, and by embracing progressive ideas and value, created new experiments and paradigms that eventually themselves became tradition. Institutions and personalities that have transformed their ancient heritage into guiding path, and through intellectual revolution prepared the present for the future, are the ones who truly give direction to society's collective consciousness. Their commitment is not rooted in opportunism, but in an unwavering devotion to principle and values. A steadfastness that remains steady like the flame of a lamp, even amidst a storm. The Institute of Advanced Sciences, USA, and its India based branch, the Kurom School of Advanced Sciences, are torchbearer of this value driven tradition, standing courageously for progressive growth in defiance of rigid orthodoxies. History bears witness that whenever an individual or an institution collides with the wall of inertia, thorn of opposition, the scorching heat of struggle, and inner conflicts inevitably appear along the path. Only those emerge victorious whose mental disposition is imbued with the spirit of Upanishads, those who chart their course through reason and whose intellect constantly urge them to delve deeper into the essence of ideas. Mahatma Gandhi made truth, non-violence, and love the living embodiment of God, the very axis of life. On countless occasions, deviation from principle could have opened doors to convenience and personal gain. Deviation, yet he chose not the pursuit of fame or self-interest, but the unwavering steadfastness of values. It is the fruit of this spiritual discipline that today Gandhi is not only revered as the father of the nation, but also stands globally as the soul of Indianness and Indian thought. INETs and KSAS continue their journey of growth, guided by these very foundational values. Through contemporary and value-based research in social sciences, humanities, and sciences, through efforts toward a progressive social order, religious tolerance, economic philosophical integration, and focused research on grave challenges such as cancer, these institutions are translating their ideological commitments into concrete action. INETs and its diverse initiatives persistently strive for social upliftment with firm conviction and intrinsic motivation. We firmly believe that through education and awareness in rural India, preservation of regional culture, the empowered voice of women, and their decisive role in financial inclusion, realized through service-oriented initiative under the aegis of Maryada Foundation, institutions such as INETs, KSAS, INET World Campus, Hatnau, Kurom School, and INET WordPress can give concrete shape to the vision of Gram Swarajya, to Ram Rajya. KSAS represents a dynamic movement toward the realization of these ideals, resolutely committed through its multifaceted endeavors. Be it rigorous and significant experiment in the science, free training program of school, college and university students, or initiative aimed at establishing new values through system, philosophy, and society-based lecture and projects. In this continuum, one particularly significant milestone is the annual KSAS Symposium, which has been organized every year in the month of February since the establishment of KSAS. So far, we have successfully conducted 2 international symposia, and this marks the 3rd annual KSAS Symposium. The previously held symposia are as follows: KSAS Annual Symposium 2014. It was held on February 2nd to 4, and the theme was Philosophy and Science as a New Educational Paradigm. The second KSAS Symposium was in 2025 from 7 to 9 February, and the theme was Consciousness through Science and Philosophy. Continuing this tradition, the third KSAS Annual Symposium commences today, and the theme is Cognition across life from cells to consciousness. This symposium will provide a profound and global platform for dialogue on the interrelationship between knowledge, science, and philosophy. Thank you.
नमो नमः ओम ईशावास्यम इदं सर्वं यत् किंचित् जगत्यां जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जथा मा गृदः कस्य विद्धनम्. Namaste everyone. The whole universe is enclosed, enveloped in the divine. Whatever is moving or not moving in this universe is all pervaded by him. One should detach from the worldly affairs and appreciate his omnipresence. So, to seek the divine blessings and for the auspicious start of the day 2 of KSAS Symposium 2026, let's pray the goddess of knowledge and wisdom, Ma Saraswati. So for this, I invite our honorable guest, in this case it's KSAS Symposium. May I now request Dr. Chand Bharadwaj ji, Dr. John Bogdan ji, Dr. Ashutosh Parekh ji, Dr. Yamini Bhushan Tripathi ji, Professor Balram Singh sir, the President and Director of INETS USA, and Dr. Shiv ji for the lightning of lamp to seek the blessings of Ma Saraswati. Let's pray. Saraswati Mahabhage Vidhe Kamal Lochane Vidya Rupe Vilakshi Vidyam Dehi Namastute. May the Devi Saraswati removes our ignorance, enhance concentration, improves memory, and boost our intellectual capabilities. We bow down to her. Yesterday we had a very good chance to see the two plays, the Voice of India, Voice of Mind, and the Operation Sindoor from the Kurum Vidyalaya, and also the welcome dance presented by them was flawless and very beautiful. So, for the opening of today's sessions, may I now invite the students of Kurom Vidyalaya to present the Saraswati Vandana.
Ready? Ready then? Start. Start. पता नहीं क्या हो गया कोई बात नहीं पेन ड्राइव लगा नहीं मेरे वहाँ चल रहा यहाँ चल रहा वहाँ नहीं चल रहा यही भी होना था इसको पता नहीं कनेक्ट हो गया इससे अरे तो दिखा रहा है डिस्कनेक्टेड है
बाईस को चढ़ने हैं
ज्ञान की देवी अपनी दया बरसा देना मेरे सर पे हाथ धरो माँ ज्ञान की ज्योति जगा देना ज्ञान की ज्योति जगा देना मेरा वाणी ज्ञान की देवी अपनी दया बरसा देना
That was indeed. That was indeed quite wonderful presentation by the students of Kurum Vidyalay. Gyan ki jyoti barsa dena. May the divine blessings, may we have the divine blessings of Devi Saraswati upon us throughout our lives in the form of knowledge and wisdom. And we keep on the track or on the path of success because of our knowledge only, and all our ignorance get removed forever. Thank you very much for the students. And now it's time to invite the director of Kurom School of Advanced Sciences, Dr. Rajkumar ji. And we have the privilege because under the directorship of his wisdom, we are able to meet every year in the KSAS Symposium, and with different themes, different new themes connecting both science and philosophy and education and other streams also as well. Like I am from the Sanskrit background, so I am also here presenting something, got chance to present something. So this is under his guidance only that we are able to do so. So with this, I would, before I inviting him, let me have a brief introduction for him. Dr. Rajkumar ji is a distinguished expert in protein structure and function, widely recognized for his passion for research and exceptional scientific acumen. He has made significant contributions to advancing the understanding of protein dynamics and function, successfully addressing complex and interdisciplinary scientific challenges. An accomplished author, Dr. Kumar has published 3 books in biotechnology and numerous high-impact research manuscripts in international journals. He is actively engaged in cutting-edge research while also exploring alternative and integrative scientific paradigms. His research interests span a broad spectrum of fields, including protein folding and dynamics, botulinum toxin studies, Ayurvedic and traditional medicine research, cellular biology, drug delivery systems, therapeutic biomolecules, vector design, miRNA-based therapeutics, spinal cord injury, cancer biology, protein-based vaccine design, and theoretical biochemistry. In recognition of his scientific expertise and standing in the global research community, Dr. Kumar has served on multiple national institutes of health review panels, contributing to the evaluation and advancement of high-impact biomedical research. And for the welcome speech of today's day 2 and also the KSAS Symposium, so I request Dr. Kumar. We welcome you, Dr. Kumar.
सर बोल रहा था आपका प्रेजेंटेशन रहेगा ना ये ना यहाँ पर ना सब ये क्या मामला है पिक्चर मिसिंग है कुछ दिक्कत हुई क्या प्रेजेंटेशन शेयर नहीं हो रहा बाकी कुछ हाँ बाकी तो आ रहे हैं सब कुछ है बाकी वही नहीं है बस पहला वाला सारे हैं ठीक है हाँ हाँ बस कर रहे हैं इसको शेयर भी करना पड़ेगा सर ना जूम पे फर्स्ट स्लाइड में इस पे कर देता हूँ सर मुझे वो नहीं दिख रहा है
Okay. Good morning and welcome you all. I'm very grateful that for the speakers who attending this conference and also for all the participants who are coming here for today's symposium, for this year's symposium. I would like to introduce the Krom School of Advanced Sciences, which is located here in the Mohanlal, Lucknow. This is our 4th year, and we made very significant progress in our mission and vision for Krom School of Advanced Sciences. So what we do? So we are an interdisciplinary research institution driven by curiosity and purpose, advancing fundamental insight into translational research. So our main goal is to establish here to have our basic research or our fundamental insight to some kind of a product or some kind of a translation research. We reimagine education as a space for inquiry, creativity and independence, cultivating next generation thinkers who are self-motivated, adaptable and capable of shaping their own entrepreneurial path. We challenge selective conventional scientific and traditional assumptions by exploring alternative paradigms within a rigorous and responsible scientific framework. We try to establish a KSAS center for not only for the science-based research, we want to have research related to philosophy and humanity research, and including Ayurveda research also. We are a small collective with a bold vision, taking ordinary questions and pursuing them with extraordinary depth, courage and originality. Is it okay now? Okay, so we do several kinds of research here. So first research is about the development of our expression system, which express protein in different mammalian and bacterial cells. So that we are in a very advanced stage where we can incorporate different kinds of changes in our expression vector, and our expression vector is working very fine. Next, related to that expression system, we are also trying to develop our own cell line system where for mammalian expression. So we are continuing that research. Second area in which we are working on is the strategy for cancer treatment, and this work is mainly inspired by one of the holy plant, Tulsi, in which we got some experience about how cells, cancer cells will respond to phytochemicals and the plant-based treatment. And actually it gives us a very comprehensive view how we can treat that, and we not only treat, not only kill the cancer cells, but we can convert the cancer cells into normal cells. So those kind of experiment we achieved, and we have the patent. So we thought we should use some biotechnical technological method to address some of the immune response, and as well as modify those immune response in such a way that we can target some specific cells to treat cancer. So one of that is the chimeric antigen receptor T cell based therapy, which is we got the proof of concept level, we reached that. The next generation is we are now targeting the T cells. T cells are immune cells, our own immune cells, which kills the normally the disease cells. So we are now generating those T cells for some specificity, so that they will go directly target only those cells which we want to target them. So now the third thing is, which I was talking about, this is the inspiration for our team to go into this direction of cancer treatment. And in this we found several compounds in the Tulsi which not only treat the cancer, not only reduce the tumor size, not only kill the size, but it is also converting the cancer cells into the normal cells. So that gives us a good idea about how cancer cells can be reversed. Now the third project which we are working on is the therapeutic antibody project, and that's we are creating biomolecules, monoclonal antibody, recombinant monoclonal antibody, which will target some kind of a cytokines, and those cytokines will treat some inflammations. So we already have a proof of concept for producing the monoclonal antibody. Now we are also started working on the biospecific antibodies also. Now this is one of the things which we are doing, and we want to do. We want to engineer the viral vector for a specific delivery system. So that's also we are working on. And one of the research which we are continuing from United States, this one, the axonal regeneration, and this is part of our neuronal regeneration and neuronal degeneration project, in which we want to address both degeneration and regeneration at the same time, so that we will get the functional neuron. Now this is the from where everything started. Dr. Singh started this research way back in 80s, and then we got a lot of experience in working with this molecule. And this molecule is, you can see here, some of the disease are mentioned here, and some of the things about the botulinum is mentioned here. But 2018 Times, they on their front page, the title was the molecule which can treat 800 plus medical conditions. So this is such a vast utility. This molecule has such a vast utility to treat that much of disease. So we in KSAS we don't have right now these things, but this year we are going to start this research in KSAS. So this is the project status of all these things. Like we have two patent granted, and 4 patent applied, and 7 patent applied, and one patent is in a draft phase right now. So, other than the biotechnological work, we are also trying to understand the and social and humanity paradigms also. So this inspiration comes from one of the largest congregation of the human, that's the Kumbh Mela. So from that we started doing some research, and we actually collected the water of the Kumbh Mela during the Kumbh Mela period, and we try to address some of the questions which I'm going to show you. So this is actually the development, a concept of colony, culture and symbiotic evolution. So in this we collected the water and we checked whether the water has the different kinds of bacteria or not. Normally we think that the Ganga water is not having any bacteria because of lot of bacteriophages, but still we can found we were able to find several bacteria which is antibiotic resistance in that, and there are several bacteria which have different morphology, different colors and other characteristics. So at present we made some conclusion with this research. This is continuing research, but some of the conclusions are very interesting for us to know about our evolution, our civilization also. So colony formation is an inherent property of life and the foundation upon which civilization arises. Because of we started seeing the this research is in collaboration with the philosophy people. So the philosophy people are doing this research, and then we both sat together to make some conclusion on that. So then they started understanding, the philosophy people, first time they see the bacterial colony, so they started understanding how the colony is forming and how the civilization arises from the colonies. So even within limited space, like in Kumbh Mela, you know that a lot of people at the same, even within limited space, coexistence is possible when we embrace the true meaning of symbiosis, not competition but cooperation. In reality, every form of life holds significance in its own capacity, whether a unicellular organism or a complex multicellular entity, because we have a hypothesis that during that Kumbh Mela there will be some interaction between the bacteria and the human being in that time. So we will find out once we go further in this research. Human-centric view of evolution is an inherently narrow way of understanding existence. A mere expensive perspective places all forms of life within the same continuum, and some of those aspects we are going to discuss in next 2 days with how a small cell, what a small cell can do. This inclusive worldview embodies the true essence of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The world is one family. Okay, so now I would like to introduce this year Symposium. The theme is the cognition across life, from cells to consciousness. So when we were thinking about this topic, cognitive biology, we were thinking, can we explain everything through brain? That's the whenever we think of a cognition, first thing is coming to our mind is the brain. And that's when we say, but this is what is cognition. The cognition is like information processing plus decision making. That is a characteristic. Its characteristic is sense, integrate, decide, and adapt. If this is our definition, I don't think neurons are required, because cells can sense, cells can integrate, cells can decide, cells can adapt also. So all brains are made of cells. Development, immunity, cancer depend on cellular decisions. Intelligence did not suddenly appear with neuron. Like say, to understand cognition fully, we must start at the cellular scale. Now cell as a cognitive system, like I was saying cell can do all these four characteristic of our cognitions. They are receptors which acts as a sensor, signaling pathway, they acts as a computation for them, gene network is the memory for them, feedback loops is a stable decision. So signaling network is equal to is similar to the logical circuit also. So intelligence is as adaptive information processing, the ability of system to acquire information, integrate it, and flexibly act to maintain viability under uncertainty. Cells continuous sample their environment, chemical gradient, state signals, nutrients. They also can integrate multiple, often conflicting inputs also, and they regulate very well. Sometimes the fidelity is very, very high. They select among alternative responses based on context. So this is not only the reflective stimulus response behavior, it is a context sensitive decision making process. Predictive behavior in cells and information processing beyond biochemical reflexes. Some cell can do more than react, they can predict also. Like chemotaxis is one of the example, they can predict where they have to go. Anticipatory metabolic switching, stress response, priming, these are temporal pattern recognition in fluctuating environments. These are some of the examples which they can predict and they can do their function. So the prediction implies internal model of environmental regularities, use of past information to guide future action. That moves cells from not only reactive machine, they are a model-based system. So although there is a minimal cellular network, like we have in logic gate, we have and or not type of logic gates. Cells have also this kind of a gate system where you can put their functional property. And those are mainly based on the substrate, but the substrate are molecular, but intelligence is substrate independent most of the time. So the relevant questions, one of the relevant question we ask is here: does the system perform real-time information processing to handle novel situation for cognition? Yes, cells do. Within their ecological niche, they can do that. I will go not in detail, but there is some single cell organism which can act as a neuron also, like slime model. They have a large amoeboid, can solve complex non-logical problem, and they can navigate mazes, and they can have a shortest path to their food. They have their external memory, and they have their also solving the traveling salesman problem, like in laboratory experiment, near optimal path between multiple food sources. Similarly, there are other characteristics of the single cells, like they can have a behavior hierarchy and decision making, and some of the examples are xylates, which can do these kind of function, which is complex behavioral traits. Anticipation and molecular circuits, bacteria and microbes anticipates, and they have some molecular circuits which can predict their behavior. They have chemotaxis, which I was mentioning earlier, and they have the self-recognition, because they can differentiate between self and non-self also. And they have a cooperative behavior where they have a quorum sensing to multiply, to grow, for quorum sensing. And altruistic behavior in some bacterial colonies, individual cell may die to release DNA to support the survival of the community. So that kind of behavior is also present in the single cell organism. Complex organization is also the eukaryotes have one type of eukaryote has a eye-like structure, so they can see even if they are single cells, they can see their prey. Bacterial networks also, they have a morphogenesis. So these different characteristics of the single cells spanning from prokaryotes to eukaryotes. These highlight the intelligence in single cells and not about consciousness thought, but rather about the capability of process information, adapt to the environment, and solve problem through evolutionary optimized mechanisms. Now, the other side of that is that there are several caveat to this, that the intelligence at the level of single cell concept. Many cellular behavior can be explained by biochemical control system without invoking cognition. So the caveat here is, are we describing genuine information processing or just a metaphorical intelligence? Another caveat is over attributing. When natural selection already explained the behavior, no real time problem solving is required. But cells don't need intelligence if environment is predictable. If they are adapted to that, there is no need to have extra intelligence to that. And responses are very pre-encoded due to evolution. Now the learning is very limited in the cellular physiology. Cell can learn, but it slows, it's simple, just to 2 more slides. It slows, it's simple, it's usually just getting more or less sensitive to something. They don't suddenly figure things out and apply lessons to new situation. They don't understand what's happening. A cell doesn't know what food is, what danger is, what the future is. Although bacterial cells can navigate to their food, but human body cells, they cannot know what food is this. They know only the amino acids and different components of that they have to use. It just follow chemical signals that happens to keep it alive. Any understanding is something we see, not something the cell has already. So at this point, considering cellular intelligence and its caveat, all I can say is a competition without comprehension, but with cooperation and networking. So with this, I would like to welcome everybody again and start the next session. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kumar. So now we will move on for our today's keynote speech, and and the topic of today's keynote speech is Cognition Beyond Brains, Redefining Intelligence in Nature. And I would like to invite Dr. John Bogdan to chair this session. Dr. Bogdan received a BS in biology from Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute and then a MA and PhD in microbiology and immunology from SUNY at Buffalo Jacob School of Medicine and Biomedical Sciences. From there, he went to perform a postdoctoral fellowship at the DuPont Merck pharmaceutical company. After his postdoctoral, he became a researcher scientist at the ventilators, vaccine and the pediatric, and then a senior research scientist at the North American vaccine. He spent over a dozen years working at the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease, NIAID, as a scientific review officer and the program officer before starting his own consulting company, that was successful in enabling award for US funding for companies for development of vaccine and the therapeutic platform technology. During his career, he assisted in the advancement of licensing of 3 vaccines and 1 therapeutic, and currently one of the therapeutic in advanced development for Linesure. So today's speaker is Dr. Suhas Kshirsagarji, and The chair of this session is Dr. John Bogdan. So it's over to you, sir. Please.
Thank you, and I want to thank the meeting organizers, especially Raj Kumar and Dr. Balram Singh, for inviting me out all the way from the United States. I've been helping them and doing some advising to them on their product development. A lot of what they work on aligns with my previous research interests and my role as a program officer and advisor for the United States government. In my career, I started my career because I wanted to help people. I wanted to save lives. And I worked on 3 licensed pediatric vaccines that are currently used in the United States for children. So, you know, you had all the children come up here and young adults come up here and do their song and dance, and it was really beautiful. I have 3 beautiful daughters of my own, and I recently had them and their friends over, and we took a picture together. And I just realized that they're the first generation of students in the United States that received the 3 vaccines that I've worked on in my career. So for me, it's all about saving lives, helping people, and advancing the highest quality of science that we can perform across the world. So thank you for the invitation to be here. I've had a wonderful time. You guys are so gracious, so kind. Thank you so much. So I'm introducing the keynote speaker. As was said, his topic is going to be cognition beyond brains, redefining intelligence in nature. Dr. Suhas Shisagar is a classically trained Ayurvedic physician, medical astrologer, and researcher with over 30 years of experience, of clinical experience, a best-selling author, educator, and a global speaker. He has played a key role in advancing Ayurveda and integrative medicine worldwide through curriculum design, institutional leadership, and clinical practice. He's the director of the Ayurvedic Healing in Santa Cruz, California, an advisor to leading wellness organizations, and the author of influential books, including The Hot Belly Diet, Change Your Schedule, Change Your Life, and Panchakarma. Dr. Suhas Shisagar, please start your presentation.
Thank you. You guys can hear me?
Yes, we can.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Perfect. And I'm going to share my screen. So just want to make sure that you're able to see me, hear me, see my slides. Everybody fine with that?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Thank you. Namaste. Good morning, everyone. And how fortunate I am to be introduced by 2 stalwarts, yesterday by Dr. Alex Hankey and today by John Bogdan. So very, very happy that these 2 scientists to the core and wonderful human beings were able to introduce me twice in the same international symposium. Very, very happy and very proud to be a part of this elite gathering that Dr. Balram Singh and Dr. Rajkumar ji have put together. I believe science with consciousness is a phenomenal way to change humanity, and it's about time that we need to raise our collective consciousness to see how the science is creating, designing research studies, and more importantly, impacting the very future of humanity. So very happy with the Corom School of Advanced Sciences and everything INADS is doing. Very happy to support a wonderful cause. And today I'm an Ayurvedic physician, and I would like to present an Ayurvedic perspective, how to frame the cognitive biology and whatever we know from the Vedic sciences. And I was listening to Dr. Alex Hankey yesterday, and it's the music to my ears when he was talking about the Sukshma Sharir and the Sthula Sharir, how the Sukshma and the subtle qualities of everything dominates the grosser part of the physiology and the science. And it's about time we acknowledge that in science. These are some of my books, and the recent one, the latest one, is something called as Awakened Sleep. And I think it's a phenomenal book. It's another expression of how sleep has been looked into Vedic sciences. Sleep is simply looked at as an extension to your meditation practice. And all the activities that the body, the cells, the genes are doing when you are deep asleep. And I think that is the very basis of this book. All my books, I have tried to blend the Eastern Vedic wisdom with the latest cutting-edge science. Well, and especially when we talk about science, and we are talking about Ayurveda, which is one of the most ancient and most comprehensive body of knowledge, which is Vedas, known to humanity. And in the current day and age, I would like to call Ayurveda as the original lifestyle medicine, is the original personalized medicine, is the original functional medicine, because it has clearly stated, it is a very bold statement with the mission statement of Ayurveda Amritanam as Ayurveda for immortality, which clearly states your body is a process. It's not a structure. It's not a frozen sculpture. But more importantly, it's an energy and information field. And especially in the light of cognitive biology, what we're talking about is how this whole network of energy and information is synthesized not only in human beings, but in every living entity, at multicellular to a single cellular organism. And we have been blaming our genes and genetics for a long time. And suddenly we have realized that our genes are not deterministic. You can turn on your genes and turn off your genes with the environment in which you live. So it's suddenly not genome, but the epigenome. And Ayurveda is the science of epigenetics. It's the science of qualia and qualities. It's all about the qualia and the qualities that our senses can perceive, feel, understand, and carry those in the form of messengers, molecules, variety of different chemicals that are translated into how the physiology responds. And I think we are understanding painfully enough that we have to change our relationship with time, because we know that space and time both are illusions. And I think the continuum of the space and time is fused when we talk about consciousness. And Ayurveda is a consciousness-based approach to health and well-being. And one of the fundamental aspects, if we want to integrate our sensory faculties, our cognition, and I will talk a little bit more about it, because we loosely translate cognition just to as mind, but to regulate the functions and the activities of the mind and the cascade it goes down at a cellular, at a genetic level. It's our awareness. It's awareness of the experience itself changes the very nature of the experience. And I think the very essence of all the Vedic literature and the entire Vedanta is totally based upon it. It's the seer and the seen. It's the observer, what is being observed, the process of observation. It's how you look, how you see, how you perceive. It's the art of metabolizing experiences in many ways. It is the key to transform and reinvent your body. And I think in this light, Ayurveda is not an ancient, outdated science, but as I say, it's a cutting-edge medicine. In Western medicine, we know a great deal more about the causes of disease than we know about the causes of health. And I think the true integration of mind, body, and spirit, the mental and the physical and the spiritual well-being, is very much reflected in what Dr. Rajkumar was talking about, what Dr. Alex was talking about yesterday, is all about the cognition, the perception. Because every cell every gene is having an innate ability to understand, is to process information. And the very definition of mana, mind, is mana jnane bodhe. To have information, process information, to realize and to act without the central processing unit telling them. And we are not talking about the complexity of human being. I'm talking about even a single cellular organism like a fruit fly. With their clock genes, they're able to track the galaxies, understand the rhythms of sun and moon, night and darkness. It is something that we have understood painfully enough, that the mind is not only embodied structure in the brain, but it is the entirety of the continuum of perception everywhere and its ability to act. As Dr. Rao was telling us about every cell has an ability to do its task without waiting for orders. Every neuron knows exactly what to do. So this combination of sattvam, atma, shariram, mind, body, and spirit, is the tripod of life. And we often say that mind, perception, cognition is what is the most important tool for self-realization, for your spiritual existence. Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayo. Why I'm saying this? Because it is important for us to really understand this very unique concept that the Vedic science has been talking around for a very long time, that mind and senses, how they perceive the world and how you look at everything, is exactly the feel and the response and the body that you create and reinvent constantly within yourself. The Manas Shakti that Ayurveda has always talked about, Dhi, Dhriti, and Smriti, which is your ability to have buddhi or intellect, the innate intelligence that we talk about. And what Dr. Rao was telling us, that it is not only buddhi or the quality of IQ or intelligence what we're talking about, but the inner intelligence that pervades in every grain of creation. That is what we're talking about, the cosmic intellect that pervades everything. The mano vyapar, the actions that the mind does, and every activity that Ayurveda has talked about. Interestingly enough, the Trivid Chikitsa that we often talk about, and pardon me if you're not aware of some of the aspects of Ayurvedic medicine, but Ayurveda has 3 different kind of treatment modalities, Trivid Chikitsa as we call it. Yukti Vyapashya Chikitsa, Sattvavajaya Chikitsa, and Daiva Vyapashya Chikitsa. So the 2/3 of the treatment models are all related with mind, emotions, and more importantly, fostering a spiritual growth. Only 1/3 is pertaining to diet and lifestyle and detoxification and herbs and foods and so forth. So I think it's an interesting concept. I'm very happy with the topic that you guys chose for this symposium, cognitive biology, because as we said, that it's high time we discharge this ability that every time we talk about mind, we mindlessly show our brain. And that's not where the real mind is, because it's the continuum of the mind. Minds exist. It's a plurality of the minds that exist at multiple biological scales, from cellular, molecular, to the neural networks in brain, everywhere. Every cell, every action, reaction that goes in the body is a system, which is not only in human being, but it's an ecosystem in every aspect of life form. Process the information about its environment. And that environment is very species specific. Umwelt, as they call it. Is that right? Umwelt is a very species specific environment in which those cells know what to receive. As Dr. Rao was talking about, they don't understand that this is gulab jamun or jalebi or whatever you are eating. They just understand the proteins, amino acids, and whatever other chemicals the food has. So the information about its environment is very species specific. It stores and retrieves information. So there is memory every cellular level. Every grain of creation has its own memory. So brain is in a way outdated, because we are talking about when you conduct research, the body is so intelligent, even the cells in the Petri dish are active and are showing their own intelligence and their own memory to act accordingly. And they pursue their goals. They know exactly when to start secretions. It's like a timer that goes off. Hormones, neurohormones, glandular exercise, variety of different things. It's like fountains in the body, which is going on at different times. And they're pursuing their goals. Every organ, every structure know exactly what to do and where to go, make decisions to achieve those goals, to carry out digestion, to carry out elimination, to carry out absorption, assimilation, protein synthesis, conversion, you name it. There are millions and millions of activities that are happening, and it cannot be possible without a cognitively alive biological functioning. And it is able to adapt its behavior as per the need. Imagine that you are thirsty. Every cell in your body is parchy and thirsty at once. It's not that your throat is dry. Every cell is knowing. It is immediately able to conserve water at every cellular level until you go and drink some water. So it is able to adapt its behavior based on the outcomes. And the molecular networks are making these gene expressions act and these decisions about what genes to turn on, what genes to turn off. The cells solving navigation and differentiation problems, the organs maintaining homeostasis is a phenomenal concept when you look at it. And it is impossible. It is impossible for any activity, for any model, for any computation model with algorithms to figure it out. And your brain is a mere orchestra conductor, is coordinating it all at once to a certain extent. We like to use this wonderful definition by our friend, Dr. Daniel Siegel. And I think this is more or less accepted by scientists all over the world, where the mind is an emergent property. Emergent means it creates as per the needs. So there's no localized feeling of the mind. There is no location. It's a non-local entity of your mind. It's nowhere located. You cannot find it. It is emergent because it creates as it is needed, differently at different stages and phases. It is self-organizing, as if it has this property from consciousness itself, which is self-organizing and self-regulating. And more importantly, embodied. It is embodied, whether it's a caterpillar or a butterfly or an elephant, it is embodied in that structure, in that species-specific umwelt environment, as we talk about. It is embodied and it is relational. And that's a phenomenal concept. With the definition as we talk about, it's a relational understanding, because what you're listening, what you're hearing, what you're smelling, what you're feeling, how you're processing things, in relation to that, it processes that regulates the flow of energy and information. And it's very, very similar to mana, jnane, bodhe. And that's the reason why in Vedic sciences, in Ayurveda, I think if we look back, that what is that intelligence that pervades in every sap and every grain of creation? And I think the closest thing that we can think about the mind, senses, and cognitive biology is, it's not just a bunch of chemicals learning to act and behave in certain ways in different animals and different species. And we're talking about trillions and trillions of species around the globe, including plant kingdom and animal kingdom. The senses aren't just the inputs to our minds. They very much define the cognitive boundaries of the entire biology, whether it's a single cell organism or complex human being with 5 multiple senses in which you take in the information. The senses are the gateways of perception. The word indriya that we use in Ayurveda and Vedic sciences for a sensory organ, indriya means Indra, the the king of the gods, who is the ruler of the Indriya and this information processing system. So in Rig Veda, Indra is considered to be the primary deity in some way. In other words, Indriya and the perception that we have and everyone else has is related with a divine quality. And there is no other explanation than having this divine quality, which is pretty much rational in everything, knows exactly what to do, when and where to go. And those properties that the cells can go, they go from point A to B and carry out a variety of different functions. So a sense, Indriya is any mechanism that transduces environmental information in the form that we can use for decision making. And that's exactly what the subtle energy fields are that Ayurveda has been talking about. The subtle energy field, the language of doshas is the language of the subtle energy field. They are structures and the function all embedded and rolled into one. The real seed of functional medicine is the Tridosha theory of prana, Agni and Indriya. And think about it for a moment, because without prana, the Indriyas cannot function. The Agni is the seed in which the activity of the sense organ happens. Agni means the electrical activity, because at the end of the day, whether it is smell or sight or anything, it's just an electrical activity. So the seed of Agni and prana is the real fusion, what I'm talking about here. And this is the very essence of Vedic science, that prana is Agni, Agni is prana. They are all embedded. And the whole entire universe is the creation of this. The very first word of Rig Veda is Agni Mere Purohitam, is the Agni, what we're talking about, the force of transformation, conversion. And everything boils down to this subtle electrical activity, where there's the movement that allows things to happen, change constantly. And the shift, which happens at the molecular level, senses, millions of activities, chemoreception, hormone, neurotransmitters, ion concentration, pH balance. You don't have to intellectually even understand or pay attention to any one of this, not only in human beings, but any living species anywhere on the planet. Electromagnetic senses. The cell detect and respond all the bioelectrical fields, electrical signals. They know exactly that you are seeing something, but it is converted and retained as a memory. Every time you recall, the same electrical impulse goes back somewhere and reenact the whole scene completely. Organism sensing. The entire organism of multiple cells is doing interoception. They are aware of what is going on in the biology at every point in time. Hunger, thirst, sleep, tissue regeneration. These are all Vegas. In Ayurveda, we call them as Vega. Vegas can be just understood as the movement, as a wave, as an urge, as a tide swelling up to create a feeling, and then it goes down. So those are all waves in the physiology that create these sensations, images, feelings, thoughts. And we are talking about hunger, sleep, tissue regeneration, embryo development. Think about it. Just for those 9 months during the pregnancy, to create even a stem cell to convert into something hard, something medium, something soft. That stem cell is converting itself into a muscle, maybe a cartilage, maybe a bone. Where does this intelligence come from? That the same cell converts itself into 3 different types of entities from the same source, knowing it exactly what to create and where to go. Without the intelligence, without the prana, it's impossible, because senses shape minds. And we are not talking about minds in the brain. We are talking about the perception at every cellular level. The senses shape the minds, and the available sensory channels determine the cognitive possibility in space, what is happening, in the Akasha, what is happening. And the mind shapes senses, the cognitive need drives evolution of new sensory capacities where it can override and create a new emerging properties within the biology that the body demonstrates many times. Whether you're talking about having a cancer cell or healing a cancer cell. These are all new emergent properties that the body is able to adapt and co-create with networking. The senses don't serve the mind. The senses of the mind's reach into the world itself is the gateways. And we know this for sure because the mind is created, your brain is created with your sensory experience. So look at a baby. When the baby is growing up, it's all about sensory experiences, how the brain develops. So sensory deprivation leads to cognitive deprivation. Remove sensing, you remove your cognitive capacity. As simple as that. The co-evolution of sensing and cognition is the story of every life, and biology becoming increasingly able to model and predict and navigate its own world. The world for a chameleon is different than a tiger, than an owl, than a dolphin. It processes its own world and creates its own networking in the physiology. The only explanation that we can think of from the Vedic perspective is from a Taittiriya Upanishad, that the real source of everything is prana. It's a phenomenal sutra from Taittiriya Upanishad. Ye devaha manushyaha pashavah chasanti te sarve pranam anuprananti. Prana hi bhutanam ayuhu tasmat prana sarvayusham iti uchyate. Ye pranam brahma iti upasate te sarvam eva ayuhu yanti. Prana hi bhutanam ayuhu tasmat sah sarvayusham. Uchyate iti tasya purvasya sharira atma sa eshevacha. Prana is the life force which is controlling everything that exists in the three worlds. Atmana esha prano jayate. And this is from Prashna Upanishad. Atman and prana is one and the same. So when we talk about consciousness and prana and all the qualities of the subtle qualities that function and govern the entire physiology, so the language of doshas become much more real. The language of sub-doshas become much more real. The language of upa-sub-doshas become even more real. And that's the reason why I'm saying that Ayurveda and Ayurvedic understanding, how we look at the mind, how we look at the biology, how we look at the indriya vyapara, because everything is just the play of the perception, sensation, images, feeling, thoughts, leading to bodily arousal, social expression, sense of purpose, any significant life event adding to allostatic load. We just become the metabolic end product of our sensory experience. That's who we are. And if at all senses and the sensory experience is going to literally decide who we become at a physical, at a metaphysical, at a biochemical, at a neurological level, then we just have to pay attention to our environment. And that is the key for immortality or longevity to a certain extent. Because until and unless we go back to this seed of everything, which is consciousness, which is a causal, non-local, sentient, self-knowing, self-organizing, self-regulating. That is what the quality that every organism is demonstrating. And what Dr. Rao was talking about, these recursive feedback loops that we know in the physiology. These are correlating network of feedback loop. They are non-local. They are non-local correlation. They are quantum biology, quantum physics, quantum chemistry. The entirety of the quantum universe can be explained through the principle of prana and consciousness. And the complementarity for every level, whether you debate the thing as they are seen, whether it's the wave or the particle or the mind or the matter or organism or their environment, gene or epigenome, and the evolutionary process in its expression being creative is what Vedic sciences has been talking about for thousands and thousands of years. It is non-local, it is a causal, it expresses itself in qualia gestalts And these qualias are subtle qualities. Without qualities, we don't understand. This is sweet, this is bitter, this is tasty, this is hot, this is cold, this is heavy, this is light. That is what Ayurveda is, because our senses cannot understand anything beyond that. They only understand these qualities. And these expressions, which are species-specific and culture-specific. And these are the conscious agents that exist at a causal level, subtle level, and a gross level, which is Sthula Sharir, Sukshma Sharir, and Karan Sharir. And the physical body projects our expression of qualia and the quantum qualia in the physical world. And the subtle body projects our emotional experience, which is Sukshma Sharir. And the causal body projects non-local experience into pure state of consciousness. So Sattvam, Atma, Shariram, that's what we're talking about. So brain, body are just perceptual experience. These are apparatus of the physical world. And the appearance of the world is simply determined by what kind of apparatus is given to you. Everyone who looks at the same thing feels, experiences differently. And that's the experience that is needed for that species at that time for them to function. Evolution of the species, its evolution of the form.
Sir, kindly conclude in 5 minutes.
Perfect, thank you. So the mind and body are both experienced in the perceptual space. So what I'm saying is that the cognitive biology and the aging and the biohacking that we're talking about is leading to intrinsic and extrinsic aging. Everything that we're talking about in the modern biology, why people age and die is stem cell exhaustion, altered intercellular communication, genomic instability, cellular senescence, mitochondrial dysfunction, deregulated nutrient senescence. All of that thing that we're talking about can be immediately addressed by Ayurveda in many ways. Because it's not just the total, the bundle of some parts together, but it is an interconnected system of dosha, dhatu, mala, agni, srotas, all the way to ojas and soma. And the tapestry, which is interwoven together of the sthula, sukshma, and karan sharir. That's what maintains equilibrium. And when we intervene in one area, we send ripples through the entire physiology. It's a dynamic self-regulating system that maintains balance at every level of existence. And everything in Ayurveda, we talk about ahara, achara, vihara, everything. Ahar, vihar, achar, and vichar is what is changing, how you respond to the aging process and the issue with longevity. Everything that we see in the modern medicine can be one-on-one correlated to what is going on in the physiology and intervening the cellular intelligence, as we call it. Whether you look at Agni Mandya, you talk about Rasadushti, or Ama, or Dhatu Agni Mandya, or even autophagy, which is leading to Dhatu Kshaya, or the toxin buildup that we talk about, Ama Malavriddhi, chronic inflammation, which is Rakta Pitta Dushti. Everything that we're talking about, Sroto Dushti, the stem cell exhaustion, which is correlated with ojas depletion, the whole microbiome that you guys are studying with the Kumbh Mela is something that Ayurveda has been talking about, that whether it's your body or their body, if you make their life difficult, your microbiome in your system, they will make your life very difficult. The dysbiosis that affects not only in the gut, but in every opening, every pore of the body itself. So that is what is leading to jara or cellular senescence. And I think I would like to conclude here by saying Ayurveda is a new age medicine, completely. It is the true lifestyle, personalized medicine. It is the nutrigenomics that we're talking about. When we talk about the Vata, Pitta, Kapha pacifying diet, that's what we're talking about. Chronobiology, gut microbiome, endocrinologically, behavioral medicine, detoxification, nanopharmacology that you're talking about, that the cells understand the nutrients and the information at that subtle level, and the multimodality model where we use this completely as a fusion itself, which is a great way to address this. And it's a biohack. Ayurveda is a perfect biohack because it offers tools to enhance health And you can't rely upon external products, services, technology. You have to use the most powerful medicine of all, which is the innate healing potential that everybody is blessed with. And to conclude, the cognitive biology is the mind, body, and spirit is one unit, one single unit, outcropping from the infinite field of energy and information which spans the universe. Belief, thought, and emotions create chemical reaction that upholds every cell. Time is a mere reflection how we perceive. We are not victims of aging, sickness, and death. It's just the scenery that we are looking at. So, in conclusion, science of experience, cause, and effect is what Ayurveda is. It's a true qualia science. Personal well-being is greatly influenced by your outlook toward life. Correcting faulty dietary and behavioral patterns is the very key. And spiritual solution is the real solution for life challenges. And it's all about energy and consciousness. Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shirsagar. I have a few comments across my career. This has held true for a lot of things that I've studied. Was it from contact inhibition, when cells grow in a monolayer, to developing drugs to treat cancer that for cells that don't stop at a monolayer and keep replicating and replicating as tumor cells, to working in Bordetella pertussis, where the bacteria actually takes the environmental food, brings it in, converts it to metabolites, and those metabolites accumulating auto-regulate virulence genes expression, quorum sensing. To my daughter's project as an undergraduate in Texas A&M, looking at the migration patterns of the monarch butterfly from northern United States down to Mexico. They would scrunch up the brains in different locations and see if the genes were differentially expressed, that the monarch butterfly would have some sort of GPS homing system. And then more recently, to a grant that I reviewed on microgravity effects on the aging of leukocytes in your body. And they've shown that when you're in outer space, when you're in a microgravity environment, your leukocytes age faster. So when people come from outer space, they could be more susceptible to infectious diseases because their leukocyte population is aged and not as responsive as if you were still in a gravity environment. So if Dr. Shirsagar can comment on those 4 different things, or a few of them, that would be a good way to start out the question and answering session.
Well, perfect, John. I fully agree with what you have been saying, because our physiology adapts to the environment, whether it's a gravity or non-gravity situation. It is able to adapt, and it creates those environments which is suitable for that situation, whether it is in the butterflies or whether it is people going into the space. So the adaptability at a cellular organism is a key feature. And that also proves that it is an innate intelligence, that you don't have to tell the cells what we are doing, but it can sense it, what is happening outside your window.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the audience here? Please raise your hand.
So please come ahead.
Is there a portable mic or no?
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Shirsagar. It's Rajkumar here.
Namaste,
Thanks
Rajkumar.
for considering our request to
Thank you very
give
much.
this lecture so late in the evening. Very grateful for you, and very, very enlightening speech you have. I have one question, and please give me answer in terms of Ayurvedic perspective. Does sense require for cognition?
What required for cognition?
Sense.
Whether you're talking about the senses that are visible, like eyes, nose, throat, then it is not. It is not required.
For example, when we do maths in our head, there is no sense, but still cognitive processes are working, right?
Well, in deep sleep, sometimes you're dreaming and the senses are not active. The sensory apparatus is not actually having an indriyartha sannikarsha, as we call it, where your senses has to meet the object. Is that right? Indriyartha sannikarsha, you have to see and feel, and there's a chemical reaction that needs to happen for the senses to create an experience. In many times in a dream state, you're not having, but the physiology is responding to what you're seeing and what you're perceiving. Even there is no actual sensory apparatus that is alive or active at that time. So it can still function. Even when you talk about a cell deep down in your tissues or something, it is able to calibrate and sense temperature, even though there is not a physical skin that we are talking about. So they're able to change or adapt to the temperature change deep inside the core basal temperature of your body.
Thank you. Once Einstein said that I got my most of the answer when I was sleeping.
And that's true, absolutely true.
What you are saying, actually.
Yeah, a lot of times I wake up in the middle of the night and I just have to write something down. It comes to my brain. The first thing I'm thinking, I'm not even dreaming about it, but I wake up, I says, wait.
Well, you'll be surprised how many discoveries were happened after deep sleeping. The periodic table of Mendeleev was conceived in deep sleep. The double helix structure of DNA was conceived in deep sleep. So many inventions, songs, things like that. The benzene ring was conceived in deep sleep because yadatu mansi klante karmat manam klamanvita. The senses are exhausted, and you cannot find a creative sciolution when the senses are exhausted. So you give them a rest, and then the creative process happens when you withdraw the senses. And that's what happens. Scientists were exhausted, they went to sleep, and they woke up and they wrote down something in the middle of the night, and next day they saw something. What they wrote was the actual solution that they have been working on for years together.
Make a comment on that, please. The state in which the benzene ring was realized was when Kekule saw a snake biting its tail in a dream. Now, you may say quite rightly that the dream arose from processes in deep sleep, but this is a kind of intuition which in Vedic sciences is called Ritambara Pragya. And this is deeply discussed, well, not deeply discussed, it's referenced in Yoga Sutras. I think it's Pada 1, would be at the end of Pada 2. But Ritambara Pragya is something that my own guru, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, talked about as the key to real creative insights and doing creative science. And this is a process which is completely beyond artificial intelligence. It's where human minds, human consciousness leaves AI completely behind. That's a secondary comment. Thank you so much for a wonderful speech.
Thank you, Alex, for bringing this up, because it's not just the cognition, it's the metacognition. So it's the metacognition that is a new emerging properties that is visible when you're going beyond the cognitive limits.
My wife always jabs me to the side when I fall asleep watching a show with her. And when she jabs me, she says, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm thinking."
Well, thank you, guys. This was a pleasure to be with all of you today.
One more question from Dr. Singh.
Well, yeah, it's a question because you have been talking about deep sleep. I thought the dreams are seen in REM sleep.
Balramji, boliye.
I was saying that you said deep sleep. You know, all these great knowledges come in deep sleep. But I thought the dreams are in the REM sleep.
Yeah, that's what I meant actually. So it's in the state of sleep, when you're sleeping peacefully, in those REM state, when those we barely know what electrical activities and what waves are functioning, the theta waves or the delta waves at that time, but we cannot really calibrate exactly. It is very often in the REM sleep where you get the dreams. So that's what I mean to say. When you're sleeping peacefully or deeply, that's when you experience those things.
Yeah, because I've been getting quite a bit of deep sleep, and I thought that to become creative, I have to get to REM sleep.
And again, we're talking about cognitive biology. So those people who do not get enough REM sleep actually have a cognitive decline.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much for a wonderful session. Very interesting.
Thank you.
Okay.
Now 1 minute, sir, please. Sir, you are not here in person, so we will felicitate through online and deep sleep. So I would request the chair of this session, Dr. John Bogdan, to felicitate online, and we will send it through Dr. Singh.
What do you have for him?
Yeah.
Okay. Dr. Shir Sagar, we have something to present to you for this keynote lecture.
Oh, gosh.
And can you see
You
that?
can make it visible from here, yeah.
That's wonderful. Kuru Om, lovely.
And you're going to
The
get
good network. The Wi-Fi is on. It looks
a beautiful shawl
Thank you. Thank you.
and a gift.
This is a secret one.
It's a secret gift.
Thank you.
Feels
very
like
much.
it feels like cologne from the duty-free shop, but I'm just shaking it.
Thank you, everyone. The first session with the keynote address was definitely very enlightening, and we are very thankful to Professor Sir for this lecture. And in the again एक कड़ी चल रही है फेलिसिटेशन की, तो उसी कड़ी में आगे बढ़ते हुए जैसा कि हम सब परिचित हुए कुरोम स्कूल के विद्यालय के बच्चों के साथ, जिन्होंने अपने वेलकम डांस, 2 प्लेज, वॉइस ऑफ माइंड और ऑपरेशन सिंदूर, और साथ ही आज सरस्वती वंदना, और पिछले कई गत वर्षों से जब भी केएसएस सिंपोजियम हो रहा है, हम हमेशा देखते आ रहे हैं कुरोम स्कूल के बच्चों के जो उनका हम लगातार उनको जो जिस तरह का मार्गदर्शन मिल रहा है, जो गाइडेंस मिल रही है, और जिस पथ पर वो आगे बढ़ते हुए निरंतर एक नए एनकरेजमेंट के साथ, नए एंथुजियाज्म के साथ एवरी ईयर दे आर प्रेजेंटिंग हियर इन द केएसएस सिंपोजियम. So for that encouragement, and I would like to invite again Dr. John to felicitate the Honorable Principal of Kurum Vidyalay, Mrs. Shagufa Afzal ji. Dr. John, to do the honors to felicitate our principal.
Okay.
Yes. Principal of Kurum Vidyalay.
Oh.
With the memento of the Kurom School of Advanced Sciences. And a surprise gift. Thank you, madam. So, let's see. We have two more teachers. Yes, we have 2 more teachers to felicitate, who have taught the students about the plays and get them rehearsed and prepare them for the plays and the other events. So I would like to invite again Dr. Umapati Pandey ji, the teacher of Kurom Vidyalay, along with Mrs. Mala Pandey ji. एंड विद दिस हम ये आशा करते हैं आगे भी निरंतर KSAS सिम्पोजियम में हम निरंतर इसी तरह से कुरुम विद्यालय के बच्चों का प्रतिवर्ष पार्टिसिपेशन देखते रहेंगे। और मैं सभी को ये भी बताना चाहूँगी कि एवरी ईयर हमारे यहाँ से कुरुम विद्यालय से कई स्टूडेंट्स की टीम जो हाई स्कूल स्टूडेंट्स हैं वो यहाँ हमारे यहाँ कुरुम स्कूल ऑफ एडवांस साइंसेस के रिसर्च सेंटर में आते हैं और कुछ दिनों का जैसे कि 7 days और 10 days और मे बी मोर देन दैट वर्कशॉप्स अटेंड करते हैं अंडर द गाइडेंस ऑफ आवर साइंटिस्ट और एक नए रिसर्च की ओर आगे बढ़ते हैं। तो